I found Milt a bit alarming when I first met him, nearly 4 decades ago. He is tall and dignified and quiet. He has about him an air of gravitas, all somewhat unnerving to a prospective son-in-law. I soon learned, though, that a very different Milt lives behind that senatorial facade. We went to a student matinee of La Boheme at the Los Angeles Opera recently. As we waited in our seats for the curtain to go up, I heard a stifled sob beside me. I looked at Milt, who was wiping his eyes. He'd been reduced to tears by reading the synopsis of an opera he'd seen dozens of times. He dresses soberly and conservatively, unusual in an industry that has such a close relationship with whatever is new and fashionable. Would your archetypical flash music producer have been mistaken for a panhandler outside Nathaniel's Deli in Beverly Hills?
My car was being repaired, so I had gone there by taxi. After lunch, I was waiting outside for my cab. There was a panhandler on the street, collecting money from people. We nodded at each other. A few moments later, a couple came out, and while the valet got their car, the husband looked at me, turned, and looked at the panhandler, looked back at me, and peeled off $1 and gave it to me. I said, "No, you don't understand." He held up his hand to stop me and said, very sympathetically, "I understand." And they got into their car and drove off. So I went to the panhandler and handed him the $1. He wouldn't take it. He said, No, you earned it fair and square." Just then, my taxi came up, and I got in and rode off. Would have been even funnier if it had been a limo.
Milt's deceptive appearance is one reason why his practical jokes are so deadly. You never expect someone who looks like that to be doing this. Milt fooled Pete Seeger once so perfectly, and over such a long expanse of time, that Pete, while everyone else was doubled up with laughter, gurgled with rage, leaned down, removed his boot, and hurled it at Milt across the dinner table.
I was very friendly with Pete. He had come to my parents' resort at Scroon Lake in the Adirondacks many times when I was in my teens and 20s. I loved his songs, loved his singing, loved his stories. There were several other camps in the area that catered to progressive people and had live music. But we were the first one that really concentrated on folk music. Each summer we had a folk song festival and invited well-known singers, the Weavers, Pete Seeger, Woody Guthrie, Cisco Houston, some lesser-known people. This was the 40s, before, during, and after World War II. They would give performances in the evenings, or sometimes in the afternoon on the lawn. Woody was marvelous at that. He would come for a couple of weeks at a time and then just head off down the road. He was a true hobo, a delightful man, very kind and interesting. He came for 3 summers. Pete and Lee Hayes of the Weavers came a little more often, and they were also marvelous. Pete was particularly good at involving the hotel guests. Before his performance, he would gather together those who wanted to participate and teach them the choruses of several of the songs he was going to sing.